This is Dino from Fear Factory. You all know him. If you don't, well, you're gonna get to know him today. You're my
Oh,
guest.
okay. I guess I'm
Um,
going to open up and tell them all my personal secrets.
we're going in. No, I'm kidding. No, this is a very laid back podcast I do. I don't know if you know really that much about me, but I work for a booking agency called Continental Touring. Work with
Hmm.
like Dark Funeral, Rivers and Nile. We work with a bunch of bands. So I started this podcast back in June. Obviously, since the world shut down, wasn't booking tours, and I was just like, I want to do something different and do something more in like a live setting because we don't got live shows. And I'm gonna get like a bunch of my friends to come on, and we're gonna just talk, hang out. I'll get to know more about them, talk about the history of the bands that they're in, or and anything else in general, you know. So it's been going great, and you are I believe, my 63rd episode. I've been doing
Okay.
like two a week.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
That's a good
yeah,
amount.
yeah. Last week I had Brian Slagle from Metal Blade on. It was
Nice.
fucking awesome to learn a lot about him and the label. And then I had Psycho Stick later on that week. But yeah, I've had a bunch of people. Trevor from Black Dahlia Murder. This week I have Max Cavalera on Friday with his son
Nice.
Igor.
That should be fun.
Yeah, I've never talked to Max before or his son Igor, so it should be fucking awesome. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff going on. I've been Nuclear Blast has been hitting me up about more guests and whatnot to do this with. So it's been really rad to have them on
Okay.
board.
So Nuclear Blast hits you up. You don't hit up
Yeah, well,
Nuclear
I hit
Blast.
them up and I'm like, hey, you guys know I got the podcast, so let me know if you have any bands that have new records coming out. They're looking to do press, they want to do a podcast or whatever it may be. And Kristen was like, okay, yeah, no problem. And then she hit me up about you and like available dates and times. And I'm a huge Fear Factory fan, so I was just obviously like, here's some available dates and times. Let me know what Dino wants to do, and let's fucking do this thing.
They usually make the schedule for me. I don't really make the schedule.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, yeah. It was like a bunch
whenever
of
they set it
dates and
up,
times.
dude, I've been talking for the last 3 weeks.
Have you? Yeah.
Oh yeah. My voice is pretty much sore.
Dude, yeah. I
Uh,
have to drink a lot of water during these.
yeah, same thing. I drink tea and water. Yeah.
Tea and water. Yeah. I need to start
Yeah.
drinking tea. And I told myself that last week, and I still have not bought tea.
Yeah,
I need to
I'm not
do
a big
that.
coffee guy, so tea's the thing
Tea's,
for me.
no, tea's great,
Yeah.
especially for your voice, for your vocal cords.
Is it? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's certain ones you can buy, like a vocal, or what is it? Something for your throat. It's like a throat
It
tea.
it probably coats your
Coats it.
throat or
Yeah.
just maybe soothes it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Or maybe
Something.
takes away some of the information or something.
Yeah. So let's go back in time a little bit. So just to
Oh
start off,
boy.
little bit. What got you into metal music? Do you remember? I mean, you must.
Yeah, of course, of course. No, my memory's shot.
I don't
No,
know.
of course I remember. AC/DC was the first thing that got me into metal music.
Nice. Yes.
I mean, AC/DC was more rock back then, but at the time,
That was.
74, 75, I didn't really hear too much metal at the time.
Yeah.
I would probably give it like a year later when I started hearing Black Sabbath, early
Oh yeah.
Scorpions and things like that. And it obviously it progressed over the years. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when just before the 80s or right around the 80s, AC/DC Black and Black came out, Scorpions Blackout album.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there was like I've already went through the Black Sabbath stuff, so like Van Halen, obviously get into Van Halen and then Def Leppard and then Motley Crue, and then it
Yep.
just gets heavier, heavier, and then by the time '82 came around, it was like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Metallica,
Yep.
yeah, and then shortly after that it was Slayer, and then by '84 it was like Exodus and all the thrash metal that came out at that time.
Oh yeah. That was
Yeah,
like.
in the mid '84, '85, '86 around there.
Yeah. No, that's fucking awesome. Well, when did you start playing guitar? Who
When
like?
I was 14, well, I actually started playing guitar when I was younger, but
Mm-hmm.
it was an acoustic guitar. It wasn't exactly the best guitar,
Yeah. I don't
but it
think.
was just something for me to learn off of or try to get going. You know what I mean?
Well,
I
yeah.
was learning AC/DC riffs,
On an acoustic.
trying on an acoustic,
Yeah.
trying to learn it. Trying to tune it, trying to get it in tune like the electric guitars. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it wasn't until I was 14 until my mother bought me a electric guitar and an amplifier.
That's
And it
right.
was I wanted an SG Gibson,
Yeah, I
but
had one
there
of
was
those when I was younger. Loved it.
yeah, but there was none available at the
Oh,
time. All there was a bunch of Les Paul copies.
oh,
And so I
really?
was like, fuck, I got to get a Les Paul. So I was like disappointed that I had to get a Les Paul instead of an SG.
Yeah,
But, I was Angus Young fan all the way, right?
yeah, of course.
So I did the best with that guitar. I figured like, you know, I for a minute there I was like, well, you know what? Should I just wait for an SG to come in? But my
Yeah,
mother might change her mind. Never know.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's like you
So I
got to
just
jump on
said,
it.
yeah, I got to jump on
Mm-hmm.
it exactly, and that's exactly what I did.
Mm-hmm.
So I had an SG copy, a little amp with a little distortion pedal, and boom, that was it.
That was the start of it all.
That was the start of it all. Yeah.
So I assume you were like in a few bands growing up before you started Fear Factory.
Way before I started Fear Factory. Yeah, I was in a high school band. Me and my friend Mark Shapiro.
Mm-hmm.
We had a band called Violent Breed.
Oh, okay, that's a name. I
This
like
is
that
like
name.
84, 83,
Yeah,
84. Violent Breed. I don't remember where we got it from, but it was probably from some record or
probably
something
put.
that we saw. Maybe
Yeah.
somebody had a song called that at the time. I don't remember, but yeah. So we called our band that, and we were just
Awesome.
doing covers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Motley Crue, Iron Maiden, AC/DC. Now cover. We were just a cover
Just
band.
cover
We didn't
band.
really have any. Yeah, we might have had a song or two, but nothing really that I remember.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
And then I moved to LA, and I ran
Oh,
into
shit.
a bunch of people that I ended up meeting. One of them being Dave Mustaine, and a bunch of other people
Oh,
who kind
wow.
of helped me along the way
Yeah.
to come up with my own band and gave me advice on what to do.
Really. That's really
Yeah,
rad.
I had a band called the Douche Lords, which we were like a rip off of SOD.
Okay. Yeah.
Total rip off of SOD. It was
Total
like
rip.
thrash crossover
That's fucking awesome.
type of band.
Yeah.
And then after that band, I auditioned for a bunch of local bands in LA at the time. One of them was called, what were they called? I don't remember. It was John Arraya's band.
Oh,
No,
really?
not that one. Not that one. No, sorry, not that one. I got it confused. There's another band called Tormentor. I tried out.
Tormentor.
Yeah, Tormentor.
That's
They
a
were
pretty
kind
cool
of
name.
like, yeah, they were kind of a little grindy, sort of,
Oh, no shit.
really fast stuff. They said I was too melodic. I was too melodic of a player. So then I ended up joining another band called Excruciating Terror, which was like full on grindcore.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Really?
And they were actually kind of fans of my other band called the Douche Lords.
I love that name.
But at the same time, I had another band called Brujeria. And Brujeria was me, Billy Gould, a guy named John Lepe, and a guy named Pat Hood. We started this band called Brujeria back in '89, and we released at least 3 7-inches before we made a record.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So I was doing that as well, but that was really underground, and it was really a lot of people didn't really know about it, and it was just like an obscure thing.
Mm-hmm.
But from the other band I was talking about, Excruciating Terror, the grind band. From there, I was only in the band a month, and I met Raymond. I saw him play, and I was like, I got to play with that guy. So I ended up linking up with him, and we were jamming in his bedroom. And I was like, well, actually, I saw Raymond play, and I said, that's the guy I want to play with. So I hit him up.
Yeah.
And that's how we kind of got together. I said, man, we need to start a band together. I like the way you play. And he's like, okay, let's jam, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So we did. And I said, you know what? I know this singer. And his name was Bert, right?
Okay, yeah.
And that's how all three of us got together. And how I knew Bert was because me and Bert were living in this, it's like an 8-bedroom mansion in Hollywood.
What?
And inside the mansion was different artists that lived there.
Oh.
People who actually made art.
Yeah.
Other musicians, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Actors, things like that.
Okay,
Nobody
so it's
famous.
Mixed. Yeah.
Yeah. So the rooms were really cheap. They're like $250 a month, and it was great. I loved it because everybody there was really into
just
different
types
obscure music. Yeah, it was either goth, industrial, and I think I was the only metalhead that was in there.
Oh wow.
So anyway, so that's where I met Bert. We had a band in '89 called Ulceration. So remember,
Ulceration.
I had all these bands going on. I had
Dude, yeah.
the Douche Lords in '87.
Oh
I
my
had
God.
Brujeria '89.
Yeah.
I had that one band, the grindcore band I was playing for
Yep.
around that time, '88, '89.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met Raymond in 1990, and then that's when I decided, hey, I got to play with that guy. And I told Raymond that, hey, I got this other singer. His
Yeah.
name's Bert. Let's get him in the band. So I introduced those two guys together,
Yep.
and that's
Just like hit it
how
off.
that's pretty much how I put Fear Factory together. It was introducing those guys and saying bring everybody in. But me and Bert also had another band called Ulceration,
Yeah.
which we were like a
you're saying.
ripoff of Godflesh.
Oh wow. So that's
Yeah.
oh man.
So we were ripoff of Godflesh, and I was doing like death grindcore with Raymond.
Yeah.
So I decided to combine the two, and that's pretty much what came out, the first record.
Damn. That's crazy. Did you guys
We had various bass players for a while.
did you?
Different guys. Yeah,
different guys all it was like
Yeah.
rotating.
There was a guy named Andy Romero, who was our first guy. Then there was a guy named Dave Gibney, who was like our second guy. And then there was a guy named Andrew Shives. He was like our third guy until like later on. We ended up meeting Christian Older-Wolbers, and he was our fourth guy.
Okay. And then he stayed.
But we had a couple other guys that filled in on bass, like did a show or two with us.
Yeah.
One guy, a guy named Matt Fisher.
Okay.
He, rest in peace. He's passed away, but he was in a band called Mind Rot, a local band out of LA.
Okay.
And yeah, just a couple of shows, nothing, just different guys. So we never had that bass player. We were always looking for that one right guy.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, I feel like a lot of bands go through bassists. It's like sometimes they do, like it's like hit or miss. Same with drummers though. More so nowadays.
Yes.
More so nowadays.
I kind of agree with you on that. There's a lot of people that switch a lot of band members, and sometimes, like for instance, Fear Factory. I mean, we've been a band for 30 years, right?
Yeah.
And people get used to a certain amount of characters in the band. Myself, the four members that people remember the most is myself, Bert, and Raymond, and Christian.
Yeah.
So usually when somebody leaves, they always say, "Oh, the band's gonna change. It's not gonna be the same."
That's
blah, blah, blah,
always
blah.
the first thing people say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always the first.
Always,
you should change the name.
Yeah.
Change the name. Give it up. Give it up. All this stuff, and I'm like, "No, man. I've been there
from the start."
I put this thing together. I introduced everybody. I picked everybody.
Yep.
And no, I'm not changing anything. Nothing's going to change. The riffs are still going to be the ripping riffs that I write.
Dude, you still writing sick riffs, dude. It blows my mind. It's awesome, man. Like not to steer away, but like, dude, just jamming the new record. I'm like, fuck. You still writing the sickest riffs. I've been a long time Fear Factory fan, man. I've loved your band, every fucking record. And just like hearing the new, when you first the first single, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, this is still top notch. Like, yeah. But anyway, I just want to throw that out there because I'm loving the new record so much.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I forgot what I was going to be talking about.
Sorry, my apologies. But that's crazy.
Like, what I was saying is like I picked everybody. I put everybody together. I introduced everybody. I was already jamming with these guys at different points.
Yeah,
right?
And different. Yeah,
and just bringing everybody together to start Fear Factory. My roommate, a guy named Robert Murray, really good friend of mine, has been my friend for a long time.
Yeah.
Since around 84, 85, he's been my friend.
Wow.
He was the one that came up with the name Fear Factory.
Oh, he was
my roommate.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because we had a list of names that we wrote down.
It's always a pain in the ass to come up with a band name.
Yeah, one of them was Manufacturer. Another one was Scalpel.
I love how you remember these.
Yeah, there was one called Factory. We were trying to get like these. It's kind of weird because the names were either industrial names or
Hmm.
Death metal names like Scalpel, like fucking,
Which is
fucking
a
cutting
very
people with a scalpel.
yeah, that's like a
Yeah,
very death metal or like grind band name.
totally, totally,
Yeah.
totally. Scalpel, that was on the list.
Scalpel. Yeah.
But one of them that it was Manufacture and Fear Factory. Those are the three I remember. We probably had about 5 or 6, maybe a few more.
Yeah.
But my friend goes, "Oh, Factory, huh?" It's like, yeah, yeah. My roommate saw the list. He's like, "Oh, Factory, huh? Why don't you put Fear in front of that?" I'm like, "Why? Fear? Why Fear?"
Yeah. Why?
He goes, "Come on, man, Fear Factory, Fear Factory." I'm like, okay. So I wrote that down, Fear Factory, and I just started thinking about it more and more and more. I'm like, you know what? I like this name.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it could be about anything that incites fear or manufactures fear. Yeah, that's it.
There it
Anything that
is.
manufactures fear, because it's a factory, blah, blah. So we're
Yeah.
like, oh, hey guys, we got the name. My roommate came up with the name. We got here's the name.
That is it.
And it just took a minute for it to sink in, of course,
Well,
That's
yeah.
just how it is.
You got to keep
And my
saying
roommates,
it, thinking
my
about it.
roommate's like, my roommate's look, you got to buy the name. You got to buy the name from me. I'm like, oh fuck, how much you want? And he goes, I want 2-liter Pepsis and like 5 Snickers. I'm like, no problem.
No problem, bro.
Yeah, no, I went to the store, bought it, gave it to him. That was just
That's
my
hilarious, dude.
My roommate was a bike messenger. He
Oh, really?
He in the city, in the downtown area, right?
Yeah,
He was a bike messenger.
Uh-huh.
So he was delivering packages and whatever all day long, right?
Yep.
So he needed that fucking caffeine,
Sugar, dude.
sugar spike,
Yeah.
just to keep going all day.
Damn.
So I was like, cool.
That is. Did he play any instruments, or was he just?
No.
No.
He's just a huge fan, just a big fan.
Yeah.
Big fan of metal music, and he turned me on to a lot of bands like way back.
Oh, that's right.
And yeah. And one of my favorite bands that he turned me on to was a band called Metal Church.
Metal Church, yeah, dude. They're still kicking.
Yeah, they're still going around.
They're still going.
Yeah. And
that's really cool.
Yeah, so he turned me on to a lot of bands and stuff that I never heard of. A lot of European bands like Destruction.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that. Stuff I hadn't heard of back in like '84.
Yeah. It was hard to find out about those bands. Like, even like I said, when I had Brian on here from Metal Blade, he's like, back then he's like, I started finding out about all these like European metal bands. It's like, but
yeah,
you had no way to find out about it. It was just all word of mouth. That's what it was. That's all it ever was.
Yeah. Well, my friend would collect vinyl, so he had all these records on vinyl, and I was like, "Where are you finding about all these bands?" And he was showing me the magazines like Metal Forces and stuff like that.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was showing me all these different bands, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And so we just hit it off like that. We ended up working together for a little while too at a place, at a sandwich shop.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, come on. We were like, 17, 18.
So how old were you when Fear Factory started? What was that?
I think I was around 23, 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were all you guys around the same age?
Well, Bert's a couple years younger than me, and Raymond's like 4 years younger than me. So Raymond was about 17, 18.
Oh, shit.
Raymond was still in high school when we started Fear Factory.
Wow.
Raymond couldn't get into venues because he wasn't old enough. So he would have to wait outside in the van.
Yeah, I always heard this.
Until
you went on, right? Yeah. And then after you guys were done, he had to leave. Right?
Oh, he was able to break down his gear and then leave.
Yeah. Take his stuff out and leave.
Yeah.
That's so
because we were playing 20 and over bars and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. It's like all it was, right?
Yeah. And it was extremely exciting back then. I think by the time we toured, Raymond was 19 as well.
Wow. What was your guys' first tour? Do you remember? Like what? Like did you guys go out with any bands?
No, the first tour we did was 4 shows in Mexico.
Oh shit!
We did a Mexican tour. Yeah, there was a good friend of mine, Fernando. He's from out there. I met him out here in LA, and he's like, "Fuck, dude, I love your band. I got to take you to Mexico." So he was able to work with some promoters, or he was the promoter.
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, and he was like our age,
Yeah.
doing this stuff, early 20s, and he took us out there, and that was our first tour. It was a fucking great tour. I had a great experience.
That's
great
rad.
Experience. Yeah, this is the first time that we ever had to hear an encore, right? But
really?
out there they say this word, and it's called culero, which means asshole. So you're like, thank you, good night. We leave the stage, and the whole crowd is saying culeros, like you're assholes. In other words, they don't want you to leave.
Yeah, they want more.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Uh-huh.
So when I was backstage, I was telling my friend Fernando, I go, hey man, why the fuck are they calling us assholes? And he goes, no, 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 Dino, no, no, no. They want you to go back. They're calling you assholes because you left. They want you to go back. I'm like, we played every song that we have,
So what the heck
right?
did you do? Just play
We went back and played a couple of more songs,
Yeah.
again, twice,
Again.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
we left the stage again, and they were still calling us assholes. And I said, "That's it. No more songs. That's
No
it."
more, man.
Yeah, that was it. So,
That's
yeah, it was a
hilarious.
good time. I still see him when I go out there, and that's really
Yeah,
cool. Yeah,
that is
he
cool.
was the first guy to really take us on our first tour. Then after that, this was a big culture shock. We went on tour with Sick of It All and Biohazard. We did about 13 shows with them.
Oh wow. And that was after the
Yeah,
Mexico run?
after the Mexico run, yep, we
Mm-hmm.
did 13 shows with them, and
Wow.
we were the opening band. So it was us, and I think Sick of It All and Biohazard kind of switched both nights, right?
Rotated.
Whatever night it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just a whole totally different crowd. You know what I mean? Sure,
Oh
we had
yeah,
some.
dude.
I mean, we had some metalheads there for us, but the majority was all hardcore kids.
All hardcore.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Oh yeah.
and some places we went to was all skinhead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one of the times was in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
We were playing a show there, and we played our show.
Mm-hmm.
We were done. I think I'm not sure which band came on. I think it was Sick of It All or Biohazard, one of the two.
Yeah.
But they saw some racist skins in the crowd, and then next thing you know, shit broke down. People
Oh
were jumping off
man.
stage, people fighting. And it turned into this big old brawl.
Big
right?
yeah. Just hell broke loose.
And I was at the merch table selling merch,
Mm-hmm.
and I was next to Biohazard's merch guy. I don't want to say any names, but I was next to him, and he immediately took off his shoe, took off his sock, put his shoe back on, grabbed some cue balls from the pool table, put them in the sock, and was just swinging them at motherfuckers. And I was like, I was seeing dudes' heads getting busted open right in front of me. I'm like, holy shit, I got to get the fuck out of here.
So we got to go.
I just started pulling our shirts down, putting them in the boxes. And then like, I was like, yo, you know, I can't remember who I called to, one of the guys in the band. I go, help me take this shit to the van. We got to get the fuck out of here. And so we loaded up the van, and we just fucking bolted out of there. And as we were leaving, all you see was fire trucks, ambulances, cops, all coming to the scene.
Yeah. Just everything just hitting the fan.
Just people's heads getting busted open, bro. It was fucking crazy.
Did you guys get in trouble at all, or was it just all good?
No, we were gone.
Oh, you were out of there already.
Yeah, as we were leaving, like we were driving away.
Yeah.
We saw all the ambulances and the fire trucks and
my God,
the police officers all woo woo, everybody with their sirens just shooting down the street. We're like, fuck, some shit's gonna go down.
Yeah, that's a different tour for you. Because that was your first tour in the States, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was when Biohazard probably was just before they hit it big.
Yeah. Like right before.
Yeah. And it might have been on Urban Discipline. I'm not sure which record it was. I think might have been just before Urban Discipline or right at that time.
Yeah.
Just before they were to blow up really big on MTV and all that stuff. And but there was still a little bit of a crossover appeal there with Biohazard, right?
I always thought there was some with them.
So there was some metalheads there, you know. So it did, you know, we did okay for opening up those bands, but it was definitely an eye-opening experience. And those bands were a lot very, you know, because we were still coming from the school of like the death metal and grindcore, where you just kind of like fucking just headbang your hair and just fucking and just jam, right? And then we saw those guys play, and we're like, holy fuck, these guys are just full of energy, running around everywhere, just, you know, jumping off speakers and drum risers and spinning around and all kinds of stuff, right?
Yep.
And I was like, fuck. And so we ended up adopting some of that from those bands, Sick of It All and Biohazard.
Yeah.
We ended up adopting some of that style and putting it into, you know, into our style. And if you go looking back in the early 90s, like during the demanufacture tours, like 95, 96, you can see the band running like we're a fucking hardcore band.
Yeah.
Running around
and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we took that from those bands.
Yep. And adopted it. And I remember watching
Yeah.
this. It was like 2 weeks ago. It was on Twitter. Someone posted. I don't even know who posted it, but it's a video of you guys playing live at like a wrestling, outside wrestling event.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
I don't know what wrestling company it was. I don't know if it was like WCW or some shit.
It was
Was it
WCW.
WCW?
Yeah. They had this thing called, well, as you know, they always have the spring. Back then, they used to have the spring break in Cancun or somewhere, right?
Yeah.
They would have the spring break thing. This one was they called this the Beach Brawl.
The Beach Brawl. That's what I said.
So
Yeah.
it was the Cancun spring break Beach Brawl. And it was with wrestlers and us playing.
Oh, you were the only band, right?
Yeah, we're the only band.
Yeah.
And so the program director was a big fan of ours.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't get you on regular MTV, but I can get you out here. So let's do this. I'm like, fuck yeah. He goes, yeah, we'll pay for everything. We'll put you up in your accommodations. And it was amazing.
Go on vacation, play a show, make some
we were
money.
there for like 3 days. Yeah, we were there for like 3 days. Yeah. So the first day we were there, we're like, whatever, we had to do sound check, they set up.
Yeah.
Right. The next day we played, they filmed, we played.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third day,
just hung
out. Yeah.
Dude,
yeah. Well, I mean,
I
we only
really
played
rad.
2 songs. We only played 2 songs.
Oh, was it only
time
2
to hang out?
Oh, was it only 2 songs? No shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was really rad. I was like, dude, like you guys are still. What year was that? Do you remember?
Yeah,
I don't think it said it. Oh, it was
1998 or 1999. It was either one of the two. Because I think it was 1999.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? Like there was like when you guys started and when it came out your first record, pieces of music and stuff. Were there any bands doing what you were doing back then? Really? I'm trying to like
not the way we were doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
Not the way we're doing it, but I think the closest thing you would say Godflesh, Ministry.
It was those.
Maybe some other industrial bands we might not have heard of, whatever. But no one was doing it the way we were doing it. No, definitely not.
No.
Because I combined the everything from the grind to the death to industrial, sludgy industrial stuff that we got from Godflesh mixed with electronics. That was the first album, but it wasn't until we met Reese Fulber, also in 1992. We wanted him to do remixes of our first record, Soul of the Machine, which came out earlier that year in 1992.
Yeah.
And so after talking with Reese Fulber, and we definitely had a great connection, and he really understood where I was coming from on the idea of what I wanted to do, and he was like, hell yeah. And so him and a guy named Bill Lee remixed a few of the tracks on the album.
Yeah.
Scum, Greed, Scapegoat, Self-Immolation, and Martyr. Those are the 4 songs they remixed, and we were like, wow. And it was definitely groundbreaking because nobody was doing it that way at that time.
Yeah.
Sure, people were doing remixes, but nobody was doing no one was doing like fucking death metal, grindcore, industrial, electronic dance fucking remixes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no one was doing that.
No one was doing that at that time. Sure, bands like Godflesh were doing some stuff like similar to that.
Yeah.
We were very much influenced by them, but we took it somewhere different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you guys definitely
same thing with Ministry. They were doing stuff like that, but we took it somewhere more extreme than that. You know what I mean? So the combination for us worked. We were like, we saw that the vision that I had of like adding the electronic elements into it and how it should sound worked.
It worked
because there's one song in particular. It was called Scapegoat. I told Reese, I go, look, remix the song, but don't change it drastically.
Okay.
Keep it in original form.
Gotcha.
But just add your electronic elements on top of it. And that's what he did. And that's when I realized, okay, this could work. This really could work for the next album.
Yeah.
And it did. Which turned out to be Demanufacture.
Yep.
And at that time, no one heard anything like that either.
No.
Very groundbreaking record.
Yeah. No, that one definitely was.
We gotten better after, touring Soul of the Machine from 92 to 94. We toured on that record for 2 years.
Yeah.
Opening up for everybody. You know what I mean? anybody that we could, and just
you just did
getting
whatever you could, right?
just getting the road experience, playing the songs every night.
Yeah, becoming tighter and tighter.
Opening up for different bands and like being influenced by them, and adopting some of their elements that they, not musically but like just show wise, all the above. Like I felt like we've grown a little bit and we've matured a little bit. So going into demanufacture, we were like, okay, we're going to concentrate on the 10, 11 good songs.
Yes.
And don't try to write fucking 30 songs for the album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what we did for the first album.
Yeah.
Soul of the Machine. We put 17 fucking songs on the album.
So much.
Like, it's too many.
It's too many.
Way too many.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
A nice 10 to 12, I feel like, is a good length.
Yes. We had enough songs for 2 albums pretty much, because there was some songs we didn't even record for this album.
Okay.
For Soul of the Machine. There's at least 3 or 4 other songs.
Wow.
So we had a good 20 songs.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy.
And so we decided, okay, let's just forget all those songs, even the ones that we didn't record at that time. Let's just not worry about those, and then do the 10, 11 great songs for Demanufacture. Yeah. And because we were only focusing on those songs, really helped shape the record, and it came out great. We cut out all the extra fat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Every riff, every beat, every cymbal hit, every vocal line had a purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And so we really nailed it on that. We really nailed it on that record. And then there was a B-side called Concrete that was like a leftover song from the very first record. Yeah.
Yeah.
Leftover song. Yeah. One of those 20 songs, that was one of those songs that was left over.
Oh wow. Did you think the band was gonna like take off like it did? Did you guys think?
I did.
You did?
I felt it.
You're like, no one's doing this.
Yeah, I felt it during the mixing of Demanufacture. Yeah. I felt that the band had something special here, and we were going to do something. Definitely, for sure. Yeah, but one of the story for Soul of the New Machine.
Yeah,
we did a show in Belgium. It was like a small little festival in Belgium, and Agnostic Front was on the show, and we were like, "Fuck!" And, we toured with Sick of It All. We toured with Biohazard, but then we saw the Godfathers come in and do it and fucking show us how it's really done. Like, holy shit!
They are the Godfathers of it.
Yes, and I was like, "Holy shit!" This was like a whole nother level.
Yeah,
I loved Agnostic Front for a long time, right?
Yeah,
but I never got to see them.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I ever did venture to go see them, back then punkers and skinheads and and metalheads didn't really get along.
Yeah, they never meshed well together.
Back in the early 80s, you know what I mean? They didn't really. There was still separation, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times I wouldn't go to those shows for fear of getting my ass kicked, jumped by the skinheads or you know what I mean?
Mix of things, yeah, dude.
Yeah, so I didn't go to those shows, or if I did, I stayed way in the back.
Yeah,
because I wanted to go see Gorilla Biscuits, Agnostic Front, even Cro-Mags.
Cro-Mags, yeah.
The only time I got to see Cro-Mags is when they opened up for Motorhead, because then I wasn't really going to get my ass kicked. There were big shows,
Oh yeah.
At least 5,000 people,
Oh yeah, minimum.
Yeah, so I didn't go to the smaller shows, but anyways. We finally got to play with them. I finally got to see the band Agnostic Front, but it was one of their last shows before Robert went away for a while, or Roger went away for a while. So we didn't know that. So when we went to make Demanufacture, we wanted to do a cover song at Agnostic Front. Your Mistake was a song we wanted to do.
Yeah,
and so we ended up getting hold of the band. And we're like, hey, can you invite Roger to come down? And that's when we found out that he was not available.
Oh, wow.
But Vinny, Stigma said, I got Roger's brother here. Or Roger's younger brother.
Oh, okay.
Freddie.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'll bring him down. He sounds just like his brother. Like, all right. I'm like, all right.
All right.
So he brings him down.
Fuck it.
And and he did an amazing job. He sang on the record, and
That's
Vinny
so
brought him down. I
sick.
believe he was like 17 at the time.
Oh wow. Yeah,
I
very.
think I think I want to say Madball had already started.
It just started, right?
I think
Probably
so.
around
Yeah,
then. Yeah.
yeah, because they ended up touring with us later on, doing some shows.
Oh, that's rad.
Them, Marauder did some shows with
Marauder.
us. Love
Yeah.
Marauder.
Great
Master
band.
Killer, love that record.
Oh, it's legendary.
Shout out to Saab who passed away,
Yeah.
a while back.
Yeah. So
But yeah, those bands did some shows with us because of the agnostic front connection and the hardcore connection.
yeah. That's crazy.
We
You guys play with a lot of like hardcore bands.
Yeah, I
That's
think it's
cool, man.
because our management company was from New York,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Management company was from New York. A guy named Drew Stone. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's like a video
Sounds familiar.
director, filmmaker, video director. He's done a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
He, was managing some of those bands, and he was a friend of ours, friend of the
Hmm.
management company. Our manager Scott Koenig
Yeah. Oh, Scott. I met
was,
Scott a couple times. Years. It's been a
yeah,
while.
yeah. So he had the Rush Management Company out in New York, and
Hmm.
he was linked up with all the hardcore. He manages Biohazard too, so
Oh, okay. Yeah.
at that time there was a hardcore connection there, and he he hooked us up with all those bands. It was great.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah, because some of those bands were fucking really good back then. Some of those
Oh
younger
yeah,
hardcore
dude.
bands that were they were great, and they
And they
were
were popping
it was
off too.
more of a crossover,
Yeah. Yeah. Like it
and
worked.
watching these kids play too, and they going off and just going
Hmm.
crazy.
A lot of
It was
energy,
definitely something. Yeah, it
dude.
was
Back then.
definitely something that we had like. Okay, we need to bring our A game when we're opening up for these bands. I'm sorry, when these bands were opening up for us. Like we were the
Yeah.
headliners. We're like, we need to bring the A game, our
Yeah.
A game. Yeah,
Yeah. We need to go a little more crazy on stage. Because these dudes are
yeah.
like
We
like
were
damn.
we were a lot younger then,
Yeah.
and probably
You could
60
do that.
pounds lighter,
Yeah.
60 pounds lighter, right?
Yeah.
And your knees and your ankles are not shot.
They're still in their prime.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
haven't.
I was jumping off high risers, jumping on, hitting the floor.
Oh, dude, I
I'm
remember
like,
seeing like early
I
on
was like
Fear Factory
200 pounds,
videos.
200 pounds, fucking doing that.
Dude, just going ape shit. I mean, even like, dude, I remember like old videos of like Dillinger Escape Plan. Like those
Oh,
guys.
great,
Holy
great,
shit.
great. Yeah,
Great
that
live
was like,
band.
but we were into
A lot.
that, but we didn't
Yeah.
want to destroy our own gear.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's like we like our gear. I
'Cause those guys were
don't need to
throwing
buy anything.
those guys were throwing speaker cabinets around. They were doing all kinds of shit.
Lighting shit on fire.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, it's really cool. Oh, you gotta buy a new drum set now.
yeah. We can't forget
Can't do
to
that.
do a shout out to Candiria too.
Oh
Fucking
man.
amazing
Dude.
band.
Because I grew up in New York and seeing Candiria play when I was younger, like when I was like 16, 17. Oh, dude. The energy. It's just the band.
So we
Amazing band.
so we I got to give a shout out to WSOU because
Hmm.
I feel that they were partly responsible for breaking the band in the East Coast
Okay.
because they played us on the radio all the time. They had
Really?
this thing called Fear Factory at 5, right?
What?
FFF, Fear Factory at 5,
Dude,
right?
that's
So every day at
sick.
5 p.m.,
Uh-huh.
they would play one or two songs of Fear Factory.
Wow.
So they were doing a double shot of Fear Factory, right? And they just played us during the height of the rush hour. People going home from work. Getting
Well,
off
yeah,
work at
5 p.m., dude.
Getting out there. Yeah, exactly. So it was a perfect time.
Prime time.
Whoever was tuning in on the radio station at that time was perfect, right?
Yep.
And so it really helped propel the band. I got to give a shout out to them, WSOU. I can't forget where
That's
we
so
came
rad.
from.
How long did they do that for? Do you think?
Dude, since the first album. Well, I would say demanufactures when they started doing it, but they were playing us since the first album. Totally.
Wow.
Totally into Fear Factory, the first album. They pumped the fuck out of us.
That's sick, dude. That's really
Yeah,
rad.
because they were playing all kinds of stuff. They were playing a lot of hardcore stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
At the time, they were playing metal. Yeah, Overkill.
Oh, wow.
Everything from Overkill to Agnostic Front.
Damn.
So we were kind of lumped in right in the middle, and so
yeah.
it was like,
What a badass radio station.
Yeah, I don't know if you know them at
No,
all, but
what is it again? I'm all right.
WSOU,
WSOU. I'm just gonna write it down so I
Seton
can look it up.
Hall,
Where are they based out
Seton
of?
Hall.
You said East Coast, right?
Yeah, East Coast, like
Probably New York, maybe.
somewhere in New York, outside
Okay,
of New York, actually.
outside of New York. That's rad.
Definitely not in the city. It's one of the colleges.
Oh, okay.
It's a college radio station.
It sounds so familiar. I just want to look it up. WSOU. Oh, yeah. What is it? Seton Halls?
That's what I
Pirate.
said.
Yeah, right. There it is. Damn, they're still 89.5.
Yeah, where are they? What's the city they're in?
Rock, the loudest rock in New Jersey and New York, it says.
Jersey. Yeah, they're Jersey. Yeah.
Jersey.
But we were getting yeah. And then
do they have Life and Agony up here?
We were playing shows. We would play shows at like, Irving Plaza.
Yeah.
Or the bigger place. I can't remember the name of it right now.
Irving.
And I'm sorry.
Irving.
Rosenball.
Yeah.
Rosen, I want to say.
Rose. Yeah. Yes.
So we were playing these big shows, and WSOU would be the sponsor of the radio station, right?
Mm-hmm.
They would sponsor the shows, and we would do these shows. And it was all WSOU sponsored shows.
Yeah.
But later on, when the third record came out, it was obsolete, right?
Yes.
And K-Rock, we started getting played on K-Rock.
That's big.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
wow,
we were doing these sellout shows, and K-Rock were the sponsored the show, right?
Yeah.
You would see K-Rock banners.
Yeah, that's
right?
big, dude. Damn.
And so we would have to, every time we did these shows, we would always give a shout out to whoever sponsored the show, right?
Of course.
So we had to give a shout out to K-Rock, right?
Yeah.
But the whole crowd started chanting SOU, SOU. They were chanting where we started from.
Yeah.
And so we had to give them a shout out too. There was no way that we could not.
Yeah, you could not,
building.
Dude.
We could not leave that building.
No.
Without
giving
a shout out to where we started. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Did K-Rock get pissed about that? Or were they cool? No.
No, they didn't say anything.
That's rad. Well, that's good.
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
If they did, oh well.
Hey, whatever.
But yeah, it was really cool that people, because it was a totally different, you could tell like the core people were on the floor, and you could tell like the newer school of Fear Factory fans were on the sides.
Just watching.
On the top, yeah.
Yeah.
And you could see there was a lot more girls, obviously, right?
Yep.
Because we're on the radio now, so there's a lot more girls.
Oh, yeah.
At our shows.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah.
You think that that helped the band definitely, like both radio stations?
What, the girls?
That too? You think that really propelled the band, like really helped the band grow a lot? Being on
WSOU?
Yeah, WSOU.
Or K-Rock.
And both in general, yeah.
Definitely we started with WSOU for sure. They really helped the band grow. Even when we were on K-Rock, they were still playing us, and they were still, promoting the band and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because even though we were doing K-Rock sponsored shows, we also did the WSOU show as well in Jersey at what the hell is that name? That
Starland?
Place by the water.
No.
Place by the water.
Oh my God, I feel like I know what you're talking about. It was right on the water too.
It's also in Jersey, yeah.
Yeah, it's in Jersey. I know it wasn't.
I don't remember the name of the venue there, but
it wasn't Starland.
We did a radio show there. No, that's not. No,
Starland was. No. Starland's like in
we did.
woods.
We did a radio sponsored show there. I'm sorry, we actually did WSOU's radio show there.
Oh, okay.
They put on their own concert, and we were like the headliners. It was great. We headlined over Biohazard, Overkill, a bunch of bands.
Holy shit, dude!
Because by that time we were pretty.
Oh, you guys
big
were
at that time.
Oh yeah, definitely were. And you guys, how long were you on Roadrunner for?
Up until 2002.
Up until 2002.
I stayed on. In 2002. I was out of the band. That was the first time Burton quit the band.
That's right.
And then
I
I
totally
don't know,
forgot about that.
6 months later they 6 months later they ended up getting back together without me.
That's right. Yeah, I
So the
forgot about this.
Roadrunner dropped the band. I stayed signed to Roadrunner for a couple years after that.
Oh, no way.
So yeah, I was still working with Roadrunner because, I was doing another band for them, and I also did the Roadrunner All Stars. So I was tied to Roadrunner until probably about, I would say, 2006.
Oh, okay. So you stayed on until then?
Yeah,
Wow.
until I ended up doing Divine Heresy and getting signed to Century Media.
Oh, yeah, that was on Century Media.
Yeah,
That's
because
right.
Roadrunner turned it down. It was a really weird situation
Really?
because, yeah, Roadrunner turned down Divine Heresy because I was told that the owner said, we only sign singers that leave the band and not guitar players that are not in the band. So in other words, when Dez was out of Cold Chamber, they signed Devil Driver.
Yeah.
When Pete Steele was out of Corner, they
Yeah.
signed Typo Negative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When Max was out of Sepultura, they signed Soulfly.
Soulfly. Yeah.
Those are all singers.
All of
Those
them.
are all singers. So here I was as a guitarist
fuck?
coming up with a new band.
Yeah.
And it was ripping. They turned it down. So
that is
I was like, okay.
So weird.
So I went to Century Media, and Century Media said, hell yeah. So they took it right away.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so weird. I didn't even realize that until you just laid it out right there. Roadrunner really did that.
I wasn't mad because they employed me for
a
many,
while.
many years.
Yeah,
many years. And I was still good friends with Monty Connor, who worked there, who ended up eventually leaving there and going to Nuclear Blast, starting his imprint there, and then signing the band back in 2009 or 2010.
2010, right?
For Mechanized, yeah.
Yeah. That is right. So you've been on Nuclear Blast since...
I take that back. He signed us in 2014 for Genexus.
Oh,
Mechanizing the Industrials. We were on Candlelight.
Oh,
Candlelight
those came out on Candlelight. Damn. Yeah. I don't even think I knew that. Wow. I haven't heard I haven't heard the name Candlelight Records in a minute.
Yeah, I don't think, I think that, I'm not sure.
They sold.
Yeah.
They sold to somebody. I forgot.
But yeah, it wasn't until 2014 that they signed the band again.
Yep.
Nuclear Blast to put out Genexus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Were there like any, through the years, especially in the beginning or whatnot, were there any like struggles that the band faced that you remember?
In the very beginning?
Well, not the very, or as the band started taking off, you started touring. Were there like any struggles that you remember the band facing, or was it just like smooth sailing?
Definitely not smooth sailing.
No,
but it was definitely fun.
Yeah,
definitely fun. Definitely an experience I will never forget. We've had in the very beginning, I would say we didn't even start making money till our third record.
Yeah. His third record, that's when you started seeing some actual profit.
Yes. We didn't headline like a lot of shows. Oh, sorry, we didn't headline a lot in North America. We mainly headlined in Europe, right?
Oh,
but our guarantees weren't that great at the time in the early years.
Yeah.
That we didn't even start seeing a profit till Obsolete is when we first started seeing a profit.
Wow.
Yes.
I had a
to the band. Go ahead.
Oh no, I didn't want to derail, but I had a really good question, which I didn't even think about. Tank the Tech in the chat right now just brought up. Tank the Tech. He's a street.
Tank the Tech.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tank the Tech.
He's a good guy.
He's got a good question.
He said he wanted to know why Fear Factory's Archetype album isn't available damn near anywhere.
That's not a good question. That's a horrible question.
Well, I don't even know about the record personally.
Well, neither do I, because they have nothing to do with me. That was when I was out of the band.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a big misconception here, right?
Yeah.
Everybody thinks because I have the trademark Fear Factory that I own everything from Fear Factory, which is not the case.
Okay.
I do not
Understood.
own. I do not own our records that Roadrunner Records owns. They
Got
own
you.
those records,
Yeah, they have
right?
those, right? Okay.
Yeah. The only time that I have any control of the records is when they reach out to me and say, "Hey, we want to do a reissue. Let's work on it together."
Okay.
It's the only time I have any say. We recently did that with the manufacturer.
I saw.
First time, yeah, we put it on vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
First time in North America that happened. Okay. Now, fast forward all the way up to Archetype and Transgression.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this a million times on all my social media accounts, everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, Facebooks, all the different Facebook pages that we have. I do not own the rights to the masters of those records.
Understood.
Archetype and Transgression. The owner of the record company owns those records.
I got you.
Right
there you have it.
There
I
you
had
have
no
it.
idea.
It's an old question
Yeah.
that pops up all the time. So come on.
I see.
Frank the Tank. What's it called?
Tank the Tech.
Tank the Tech. Come up with a better.
Sometimes
question,
these
bro.
things slip through the cracks. It's crazy. I mean, it's like sometimes you got to like repeat yourself a lot because it doesn't. Not everyone finds out or knows. It sucks. It's that way, but it's.
Well, yes, I know not a lot of people know, but even fans are already answering that question.
Wow. Yeah.
Fans that know are answering that question.
That question for you. Yeah.
Yeah, for me.
They're chiming in and being like, "Hey, listen.
Yo, listen, bro.
This is it. All right."
Because people blame me. People blame me. It's really horrible that people blame me. Oh, you don't want to put that record out because you're not going to make any money from that record because you weren't on it. That's why you don't want to put it out. I'm like, I don't own
I can't do it. Yeah. It's like, I can't legally do it.
Yeah. So
Guys.
people say that all the time.
Oh my
Dino want to put,
dude.
Dino doesn't want to, Dino purposely does not want to put those records out because he wasn't on it.
Yeah. What's the most annoying? What is the most annoying? That one? That's the number one?
That's one of the most annoying questions I get. Man. Yeah.
Okay. If I was in your shoes,
because
I would get annoyed.
I understand. Look, I understand that people just don't know. They don't know how the record industry works.
Yeah. Tons of people don't know.
They think we're all rich. I know.
That's very true. Very true, actually.
I know people in the music industry who don't know how the music industry works.
Also true. I mean, shit, dude, I learn shit every day, mostly. Every week, I'm learning something new. I'm like, really? That's how it works?
Same here.
Yeah.
You know, you really got to go to law school if you really want to understand some of those contracts sometimes.
Yeah.
Because some of the wording and some of the language, you really got to take your time and read those and just try to understand what they're saying. If you don't understand, number one thing is hire an attorney.
Yes. I tell people, bands this all the time.
I will almost recommend hiring an attorney before you hire a manager.
Yeah. Honestly.
Because nowadays bands can promote themselves. They can go on social media. They can go on YouTube. They can do whatever.
Yeah, you have all the resources now.
You have all the resources to do it yourself.
Yes.
Right. And I would recommend you doing it to yourself. Doing it for yourself. Doing it yourself until you can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Until it gets too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because
that's when you start sourcing.
Because the main thing, one of the things that these young bands think, because they signed to a management company that they've made it, right? That the management company is going to do everything for them.
Yeah.
No. Same thing with the record company. They think if they signed a record company, that the record company made it. Some people think, I got the best band in the world. Why is the record company doing this for me, doing that for me? Like, you got to do that shit for yourself, bro.
Yeah,
you got all the resources. There's some record labels that won't even sign you if you don't have enough friends, followers,
listeners on Spotify. Like, it's like all this shit gets looked at now.
Yeah, a lot of companies won't even sign you because the companies are obviously having a hard time selling CDs themselves.
Exactly,
so it's all about streaming. So
it is.
If you're a band and you have some songs out on wherever, Spotify, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got a lot of subscribers on your YouTube channel, you got a lot of followers, you got 20, 30,000, maybe 50,000 followers on your Instagram or anywhere else like that. They'll take you. They might take you because they look like, okay, so if when these guys write a new song for the record company, you're going to be able to promote it on your own sites, and you're going to be able to get your fans to listen, to buy, to subscribe, whatever. So
yeah.
Don't rely on everything on the record company or your management company.
Yeah.
Don't
yeah,
rely on
never.
everything on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to have some knowledge.
That's what I tell bands too. I'm like, listen, don't think that, me, like, I'm a booking agent. Don't think I'm going to be able to get you everything. It's never,
hey man,
you can't.
You're the booking agency. Get me on fucking tour with Metallica. What the
Yeah.
fuck you doing?
Why can't we tour Slipknot, bro? Like, what?
You're over there sipping your tea and you can't fucking get us a tour with fucking, how come you can't get us on that Mudvayne reunion? What the fuck's wrong with it?
I did have one band hit me up, but they were like kind of joking that I work with. They're like, "Yo, hey, listen, if Mudvayne ever needs like support, please put our name in the bat, in the mix, whatever." And I'm like, dude, even if I did that, they look at your name and be like, "Who?" And then move on.
Yeah,
move on.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Nowadays,
like, it doesn't even matter.
Nowadays, it's rough out there touring. It's going to be a big There's going to be an oversaturation of all bands
dealing with
touring
it
at the
now.
same time. Coming up, right?
Yeah, I'm dealing with it now.
So a lot of people are trying to understand this buy-on type of thing, right?
I know.
Because the headlining bands are not exactly getting the guarantees that we're getting before, or never actually.
Yeah, right.
The guarantees are not what they used to be.
Yeah, the money's not what it used to be at all.
The promoters are struggling. The clubs are struggling. People are struggling, and it's been that way for a while now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Some of these young and up and coming bands, they got to do buy-ons.
Some do.
Know what I mean?
Yeah. If you want to get that tour.
Yeah, if you want to get that tour. So a lot of bands, a lot of young and up and coming bands, I would say save your money to pick a good tour and to go on it. Because it works. It works for some of those bands. It really does.
It can. And sometimes I've seen bands buy onto the wrong tours, and I'm like, man.
Correct.
You gotta, like you were just saying, you gotta pick the right tour.
I'll give you a perfect example of a band that bought onto the right tour.
Go.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is 1996. We did a tour with Megadeth. We didn't buy on the tour.
Okay.
We did a tour with Megadeth.
Yeah.
And the band that was direct support to Megadeth was Korn. Now you got to remember, it was before Korn was big. Before Korn blew up.
Yeah.
They were still on their first record.
Yep. Self-titled. Yep.
They have done some other tours. They did tours with Danzig and House of Pain and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Sony paid a shit ton of money for the band to be direct support to. Was it Sony? I think it was Sony.
I think they were on Sony for that record. For the first record, and they paid a shit ton of money to open up for that Megadeth tour. And you literally saw the band blow up overnight. They were in the right crowd. Yeah.
A metal crowd. Because they were opening up for hip hop bands and other bands, right?
But that wasn't like,
but it wasn't until they opened up for that Megadeth tour, I literally saw
it from there.
Just talking to Jonathan Davis every week. The fucking sales were 60, 70,000 records a week.
Can you believe the difference in
album
sales?
Now.
No,
man. Now,
No, it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's literally looking back at record sales back then.
This is a week. Radio picked up Blind.
Boom,
they fucking blew the fuck up.
Yeah, dude. From there.
That did I don't know how many records, 3 million records or something like that.
Probably million. Off the first one.
And then the second record came out and they were on TRL Live.
That's it. You fucking made it.
So I seen that buy on work.
Yeah. That was a very good investment.
Yes.
Yeah. You gotta make sure it's the right tour. Some bands think like, oh, we're gonna buy on this tours with this bigger band. I'm like, well, are those fans gonna like your band? Is this the right one? Are these fans gonna just ignore you or boo you off stage for all you know? So you gotta make sure it's the right one. You're putting a lot of money on the line.
Yeah. For sure.
Kind of gambling in a sense.
Yeah, but I've seen it work for some bands. I've seen not all bands, but I've seen it work for some bands.
Oh, definitely.
If you get the right tour, the right slot, the right time. Some shows, the opening band kind of gets fucked over because a lot of the fans don't come in till later.
Till later on, yeah.
Yeah. But if you get the right package and you're on the right package, fans will be there early. They'll be waiting outside, waiting to get in.
Those diehard fans that are there hours before.
Yeah. So then they'll get to see the opening band. Like, most of your fans, most of the headlining fans will get to see the opening band. So that'll help.
Yes.
That will help a lot. Number one thing is, too, when you're an opening band, you're on the buy-on, always say, hey, after we play, come to the merch table. We're going to be there and we're going to sign everything. So come down if you want to, ask us anything. We'll give you a hug. We'll give you a kiss. Give you a kiss.
Whatever. Sign.
I'll give you a date with my drummer back here. Yeah. Just say whatever you could say
to get
them to go to the merch table.
Yeah. No, very good advice. And
hopefully,
there.
Like I did that with Divine Heresy. Like Divine Heresy, I was starting all over again, right? Starting over again. We had a great first week. At the time, we sold about 10,000 records the first week. That's and great. It started to grow. Yeah. Right? We ended up selling like 64,000 records on our first record. It was pretty good. At the time, 2007, 2008, we were on tour. Yeah. So we were opening up for bands. We opened up for everybody. I called favors. I called them favors. Them all. Yo, Chimera, take us out. Yo, Static X, take us out. All That Remains, take us out. Hey, Shadows Fall, take us out. So all these bands were taking us out on tour, and we were playing in front of the right crowd.
Yeah, those are definitely the right crowd.
Right. But everybody was like, not everybody knew that I was in this band. So they would be up there saying like, what the fuck? Is that Dino?
Yeah. Is that him?
So we would be like, yo, if you want to come meet Dino, he'll be at the merch table, blah, blah, blah. The minute we played, we had a fucking line of people like, holy fuck, what are you doing here? Like, I didn't know you had this band. I know you guys fucking were killer. Like, what the fuck?
Was that like every night? Tons of people had no idea.
Every night.
Wow.
Right? Until it finally started to grow, then people knew, right?
Yeah.
People started coming to our shows, and we started headlining shows, blah, blah, blah. So we started to make all those tours that we did with all those big bands really, really helped. And a big shout out to all those bands that I mentioned that really helped us.
Oh yeah, they're all
helped
great.
My band out, Divine Heresy. So yeah, maybe a lot of people at the merch table didn't buy merchandise, but we had sold a shit ton of CDs.
Yeah, that was the big thing,
a shit ton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're signing them too.
Yeah,
on top
exactly.
of it, man.
So people were more they were willing to take a chance on a $10 CD than they were on a $20 t-shirt.
Yes.
And I got that because we sold a shit ton of CDs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what you really want too, man. You want everyone to have your music.
It was really cool because we had to buy the CDs from the record company, and they weren't that expensive.
Yeah.
So we were actually making a decent amount of cut, from the CD sales.
That's right.
So when you're selling 70 to 100 CDs a night, it adds up.
It does,
right? Man. And so we had to tell them. We kept calling the record label, yo,
ship us more.
Hurry up, ship it out here.
Yeah, because you couldn't run out. Like that's the thing. You had to make sure.
We ran out, then we were like, fuck. But some people, we would offer combos, 15,
shirt and CD, right?
Or $20 for the shirt and CD, yeah.
Yeah, you can't turn that down. I remember a lot of bands doing that shit back then, like shirt and CD combos.
And we made a killing. We put I went to the merch table every night. People are asking me, like, why are you working your own merch table? I go, because if I wasn't, I wouldn't get to meet you. And they fucking loved it.
Yeah.
And it's true.
It is true. It's awesome that you did that.
I wouldn't get to meet you. I was basically my own salesman there. Yeah. I was selling our shit.
Yeah.
And it really helped the band a lot to do it that way. It really helped us a lot.
Plus, you also saw so many people had no idea you were in the band.
Yeah, and they were excited.
So it's like, shit, I would do the same exact thing. I'd be like, damn, I got to be at the merch table. A lot of these people have no fucking clue I'm in this band.
Yep. I met everybody. I met a lot of people.
It's so awesome. So let's fast forward to now. Aggression Continuum. This record, man. How long was this record in the making for? Like, when did you start writing it, you think?
Do I think?
I know. It's been a while, right?
When I started writing.
Well, you recorded in 2017, right?
We tracked in 2017 and completed the record in 2017. Yes,
that's right.
And it's kind of a hard explanation, and it's kind of hard for people to understand because it's all dealt with the legal issues that we had
Yeah.
the lawsuits that we had with the ex-members, right?
Yeah.
So during the time that we were done recording, or during the time we were actually recording, I didn't have any say or any control of the record. Only the music. I only had control of the music.
Okay.
I wasn't handling the business at that time. Burton was handling the business. I was going through my court cases.
Okay.
So I couldn't legally say I was working on a Fear Factor record because at that time, the name was held up in court. So at the time, the record was not, the band was not called Fear Factor. We were just,
just
because, yeah. But we still made a record.
Understand.
We still made a record. Well, we just didn't know if the record was going to be called Fear Factor because of that situation.
I understand. Yeah.
Because of the legal limbo that we were in.
Yeah, all that legal crap.
During the time. So Bert was actually running the business at the time, and he, after I was done with my court case, right, and I won my court case, I had to actually go to trial. It was brutal. I had to go to trial. Wow. So this is like in between 2017 and 2020. Sure, right?
Holy
so a good 3 years.
Yeah.
2017, we were in this legal issue that just was taking forever.
Yeah.
Dragged the lawyers were just sucking up all the money. You know what I mean? All of our money.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Like gone. Yeah,
that's what they do.
So I ended up having to go bankrupt, right? Because I was just in the hole, a lot of fucking money.
Yeah,
and there was no way I was going to do. And there was we couldn't tour, we couldn't use the name, we couldn't do anything. So
yeah, you had no way to make money.
We couldn't even make money on merchandise, none of that stuff. A lot of people don't really understand how all this works, and I get it.
Wow.
It's a complicated issue to really understand.
Yeah,
it's complicated for me to even explain it.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, it would probably take a little while.
Yeah, so
we're not getting into that crap, obviously.
My situation was a very unique situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like, I don't even know if I was ever going to even be able to get out of it.
Damn.
You know what I mean? But I powered through it. You know?
Yeah. Pushed through that shit.
I can't even think of any band or band member that went through the shit that I went through.
Yeah, right? Because you probably knew of like other bands that grew up that went through some legal stuff, but it didn't even amount to what you went through.
No, right? Not at all, because I lost a lot.
Yeah.
Money, divorce, bankruptcy, losing the band, possibly.
Yeah.
Your career. Close. You don't know. You're in this state that you just don't know what the outcome is going to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward to, we finished the record that's already been turned in. Bert turned in some artwork. I didn't even know what it was until he leaked it. Yeah. At that point, he was not communicating with me. Why? I don't know. I think he just had to. At the time, he had to distance himself. In 2017, he had to distance himself because of the legal issues that were going on. Because at that time, we had split up in legal cases, right?
Yeah, separately.
At one point, we were fighting together. At one point, he wanted to break free and go on his own, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Which kind of caused a lot of problems, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So we had two separate cases. I won my case.
Yep.
For 3 years in legal battle, 4 years in legal battle, I won my case.
Wow.
The same outcome wasn't exactly for Bert.
Mm-hmm.
And he lost his ownership of the trademark.
Yeah, I read that.
And so, so it went up for auction, and you could bid on it, like you could bid on a pair of sneakers on eBay.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the trade. Yeah, you can bid on it.
Correct.
Which is
and
wild.
So I bid on it. I already had won my case.
Yep.
I was like, okay, Bert can't own it, so I need to figure out how to get it so we can continue as Fear Factor.
Yeah.
But during that time, Bert still hadn't talked to us for about 3 years.
Wow. Damn, that.
And
long.
I was like, okay, well, if I buy it, we can get together and things will work out.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? It was all positive intent. So anyway, so when I went to go buy it and I was actually won the bid, you have to work things out with court. You have to work things out in the court system. And I was able to, get this agreement with the court system that I am the sole owner, and that's what happened. So I was like, okay. So we reached out to Bert's attorney. I actually had texted him.
Mm-hmm.
I had emailed him. I said, look, let's go, man. I got the name. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah, why not?
And his lawyers had told us like he had no intention of coming back. So we're like,
Wow.
okay. So we knew that we knew he kind of quit already.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he totally just distanced himself from everything. Just completely distanced himself.
Yeah.
No
completely.
communication, nothing. Yeah. As
That's-
you know, as you could tell, he's not even promoting a record that he's on.
I know. So yeah, he was finished with the record with his vocals.
Yeah, well,
And
he finished
then-
in 2017. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
You gotta say it right. He finished his vocals in 2017. Remember, we turned in a record at 2017 to
Yeah.
Nuclear Blast. That record was already turned in,
It was just,
but it had different things on it. It wasn't
that's right.
what you're hearing now,
Yeah.
right? So it's completely different. And that was because I didn't have a lot of control over that. Say, Burton had the control during that time because I was going through my legal shit because we had
Yeah.
separated legally there.
Yep.
Right. And I was going through my bankruptcy and I was just going through a lot of stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
So Bert had full control of it at the record at that time, 2017. I told you that he leaked some artwork
That's
for
right.
people to see the record. He was calling the record Monolith and blah, 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 blah. And so the record company was like, okay. Anyways, so fast forward to 2019.
Mm-hmm.
At that whole time, he didn't speak to us from the time he finished the record to the time that I was able to get the trademark back. He
Yeah.
hadn't spoken to me at that time or
Wow.
anybody in my camp.
Yeah.
So again, when I was able to get the trademark and move forward, I was like, okay, come on, Bert, let's get back. Let's do this. And he was like, he's like, gone. He's gone. He's done. He's gone.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, so it's all up to me now.
Yeah. Now it's in your hands.
He quit. And it was even before he even announced that he quit.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
We already knew he quit.
Yeah, but he hasn't
but
even.
The public
Yeah.
didn't know he quit. He waited to announce that he was quitting 1 week before he released his other project record.
Oh, wow.
I think obviously it was to gain hype for his record, right?
Yeah.
But
Makes sense.
whatever, but whatever.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Good,
right?
good move on him. If that's if it really helped his record, good move on him.
Yeah.
But so he still hasn't even announced it yet. He during this time, I had the trademark. I'm like, okay, so he's not gonna tell anybody, but he told us. But
No.
In a way, he told us, right?
Mhm.
His lawyer.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah. He didn't really he didn't really tell me or call
you up.
management company.
Yeah.
Or call the management company or nothing. So I said, okay, it's all up to me now. I got the trademark. So boom, I got to make the decisions. And so the first thing was contact the record company and say, hey, look, I'd like to actually improve this record and add some elements that are missing.
Yeah.
And Monty Connor was like, okay, I get you, but it's all good, but we can't give you any more money because we already gave you money.
Yeah. We gave you, they couldn't.
We gave you a lot of money and we're like, oh, fuck. I was like, okay.
Fuck yeah.
and so I kind of put it out there on the Twitterverse. I put it out there and said, hey, look, I really want to get this record out, but it's going to cost some money to get this record out. And some kid was like, well, start a GoFundMe campaign.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So I linked up with a buddy of mine named Max Malby and a couple other guys. And I was like, let's help me get this set up. And so we did.
Do it the right way.
Came up with a plan. We came up with a plan. We talked to some people. We talked to Andy Sneap. He's a mixer and producer. He's done a lot of great records, A-list mixer. We talked to him and said, hey man, if I'm able to get some funds, could you mix the record? And he said, yeah, no problem.
Cool.
He says, just let me know what happens. And I reached out to Reese Fulber as well. Said, hey man, if I'm able to get some funds, will you come back and play something on this record? And he said, yes. And I asked also my producer guy, Damien Reynaud, who worked on Gen X's, and he's worked on other records with us before. I wanted him to get him back as well.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get some live drums on the record because the previous record, the previous version was, programmed drums.
Programmed, yeah.
So,
that's what I figured.
Yeah. So I came up with what that was going to cost, and I started a GoFundMe campaign for $25,000. But when the GoFundMe came out, Bert fucking sabotaged it. He went out there and said, "Hey, this is bullshit.
Oh,
This is a lie. Dino's lying. It's for whatever he said it was for legal fees or whatever,
yeah.
right?" And somebody actually called somebody. I'm sorry, somebody actually sent an email to GoFundMe campaign and tried to say that it was
Was it
a
fraud or
fraud,
fraud? Yeah.
right?
Oh my
They
god,
didn't tell us
dude.
who it was. They didn't tell us who it was, but Bert was all over his social media. Him and his manager were all over social media, just saying that this is a scam, a scam, a scam, a
Yeah.
scam. So kids got confused. Kids were very
Well,
confused of what
yeah,
was
it's gonna
going on.
cause a lot of confusion.
Caused a lot of confusion. It caused a lot of shit. Um,
The last thing you
but
need.
yeah, it was like, oh
Right?
my god. So now Burton's doing this. He purposely went out of his way to really try and
Yeah.
sabotage and basically ruin my name and to all the fans,
Yeah, yeah.
to my career,
Yeah, literally.
my character, everything. He went out of his way. But the cool thing is, regardless of all the negative shit he said, we were still successful,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you were.
And so when somebody reached out to GoFundMe campaign to say, "Hey, this is fraud, please look into this," blah blah blah, GoFundMe reaches out to us and say, "Hey, look,
What's happening here?
somebody said something, blah 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 blah,
Yeah.
but we investigated and we didn't find any fraud in your case.
Okay.
Everything you've
And it
done
was
has been
fine.
perfect." Yeah, so it got to stay there. So whatever's attempts or whoever made that attempt to take it down, fuck you. It
Yep.
fucking worked out, right? Fuck you. And I don't know who it was. Could have been a fan, could have been somebody I knew, or
Who
somebody who didn't
knows?
like me, whatever. Yeah, could have been
But hey,
anybody.
you won it. Like you won the fucking case.
Yeah,
You know?
well, I won the case, but are you talking about the GoFundMe case? I'm not
Yeah,
sure
well, yeah, both.
because when you say case, I'm thinking of the legal case.
Well, yeah.
No,
The name and
well,
stuff.
yeah, I've already had the name. It had
Yeah.
nothing to do. Well, maybe it had a lot to do with the name, but I think that somebody just wanted to fucking take it down.
Pretty much.
Somebody did not want me to succeed.
Yes.
There's somebody. There was
Exactly. Not
somebody out
someone.
there. There's somebody out there who really wanted me to fail in this
Mhm.
situation,
Yeah.
right? And you can probably guess, people who
Yeah.
it might have been, right?
Oh yeah.
And so it sucked. It sucked,
Yeah.
because a lot of Burton's social media attacks on the GoFundMe campaign and myself really I had to answer a lot of questions to a lot of fans. A
Yeah.
lot of fans
I
wanted
can
answers.
imagine.
They were pissed. Bert still had not announced that he left the band. So there's a lot of confusion.
Oh
Like, why would
wow.
Bert do this? Why would Bert sabotage a record that he's
On.
fans were saying, why would Bert sabotage a record that he's on,
Yeah.
something that he's going to benefit from? Why would he want to sabotage
Yeah, exactly.
that? Why would he say this? It's like, so people are like questioning, hey, is
Very
this guy still in the
confused.
band?
Yeah.
So people were questioning, is this guy still in the band?
Mhm.
And I couldn't answer the question, because that's for Bert to say if he's in the band or not still.
Exactly.
Well, we already knew he wasn't.
Yeah.
But
But he needed to say it though.
he needed to say it
Yeah.
to the
He
fans.
needed
Yeah.
to come out and say it. That wasn't
Yeah.
your place to say it. It's like he needs
No,
to
not at all.
he needs to come out and just be like, hey, I'm not in the band anymore.
Yeah, so it was totally unprofessional, and it was it spilled into all the social media. I'm sorry, all the metal media sites.
Metal media, yeah.
Everybody
remember.
jumped on that subject. Yeah, it was all over the place, and then Metal Sucks started to see that, hey, Burton lost his case, and that's why he doesn't own the trademark anymore. They put it up they put all the legal documents on their site.
Yeah.
It was everywhere, and people started to figure out what was going on.
Yep.
So there was still a lot more questions, but I'm very social.
Yeah.
I'm very on my social media.
Oh yeah, I see your Twitter. You're answering everybody's
and
questions.
And I'm out there doing damage control because
Yeah.
Bert did a lot of damage.
Yeah.
He did a lot of damage, right?
Mhm.
Because he didn't give any explanations. He
Yes.
just did a lot of damage. And here I was just answering every kid's question because, trust me, they had a lot of things they wanted to know. And it was hard because it's difficult to try to explain Um,
Oh man.
and there's so many words you could put in Twitter. You know what I
On
mean?
Twitter, yeah, I know, because it's only 140 characters. So it's
Yeah, there's only so many words you could put there.
yeah,
You
so
know,
you got to
because
kind of like slim it down. You're like, okay, hold on, let me take this out, take that out, reword
this
this.
thing is like a book. This thing is like a book if you want to really know how it goes.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and a lot of kids, a lot of fans were
Hmm.
attacking me too. You know,
Yeah.
especially when Bert made his announcement of when he quit,
Yeah.
especially what he put in his speech, the words that he blamed everybody else. He blamed me, Raymond, and Christian,
Yeah.
and he blamed the legal system. He said everybody wronged him. So he blamed everybody. He didn't take any responsibility for his own actions.
Yeah.
You know, and it still boggles my mind the way he decided to, you know, leave the band. The way he
Yeah,
decided to
it's pretty
depart.
weird. It's weird, but you know, people
Yeah.
do weird things, and that we, can't explain why.
You know, we just don't know why he did it, because all the improvements that I made
Oh
for this
man,
record was going to benefit
him.
everyone, and especially him.
Yeah,
Yes.
because dude, I mean, like I said, I listened to the record a good amount of times, and he sounds amazing on it. I mean, the record sounds great overall. Period. That it is honestly a 10 out of 10 Fear Factory record, and
100%,
yeah,
100%, 10 out of 10. And I've been seeing reviews coming in,
I
by the
know.
way,
I
we're
saw
getting
the
10
one
out
you
of 10.
posted.
Yeah, I was like,
I saw
holy
the tweet you
shit.
posted. Yeah, and I was like,
The
damn,
last
it
time,
deserves it, bro.
the last time we got any kind of a 10 out of a 10 was demanufactured.
Wow, that long ago.
We never got a 10 out of 10 since then. So,
Yeah,
or a
no.
5 out of 5 or 100 out of 100. Anyway, so
Yeah,
Burns' departure really made things even worse. And it still boggles my mind the way he chose to handle his departure. You know, it's just like, dude, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you're trying
it's
to
weird.
sabotage.
Yeah,
You're trying to destroy my character. I don't understand why. Like, whatever, man. You didn't have to quit.
yeah.
You could have stayed in the band.
No one
We
forced
could have
you.
shared everything. We could have shared everything. Yeah, no one forced us. You know, he made his decision, and he has to live with it now.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully,
the door was open. I was
Yeah.
willing to forget all that shit and
just move past it.
move past it. And
Yeah.
the door was open for a little while, but then he released another interview that came out in Metal Hammer or
Really?
Loud. I think it was Metal Hammer. Yeah, and it was just another scathing interview, and I'm like, okay, that door's shut. It's
Come
really
on.
shut.
Yeah,
He's moved on. We've moved on.
that's what it is.
The GoFundMe campaign was successful.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the fans
Yeah, big
that
shout out to them.
donated to that. I was able to go back in, re-record the drums with a live drummer,
Yeah.
Mike Keller, great
Yeah, he's the
drummer,
man.
New York guy, right?
Yep.
Was able to do that. Got Damon Reynaud to produce that. Got Andy Sneap to mix it. Got Reese Wilbur back on the record. Everything that I planned to do worked out perfectly. And here you go. Now the record's going to be out. You heard the first 2 tracks.
Yeah, June 18th it comes out.
People are loving it. The majority of the people are loving it. Of course, you're going to get those haters.
Yeah,
and
I don't even know what you can hate, but yeah, you're always going to get the haters. I was talking to my friend Greg.
Listen,
and he was I was like, yeah, man, wait till you hear the record. He's like, dude, the new singles are so good, blah, blah, blah. He's a huge Fear Factory fan. And I'm like, I'm telling you, it's still Fear Factory. It's honestly next level Fear Factory. I mean, you still writing you still writing the sickest riffs. And overall, dude, it's a great record. I think
I would like to give a big shout out to all the haters, everybody who doubted me, the ones that have been working against me.
Yeah,
you know,
persevered, man.
That told me that this couldn't happen and it shouldn't happen and didn't want it to happen.
Yeah,
thank you, because that is extra motivation that I got to make sure that it fucking happened.
It pushes you, man.
And it did.
Yeah.
And the world's going to be able to hear it on June 18th.
Yeah, no, I'm really fucking stoked to hear it, or not to hear it, but to see everyone's reactions.
I'm
really loving it. Oh, I'm buying the record. Don't worry.
So the next single, is going to be called Recode.
Recode,
which is the opening. Which is the opening track on the record. It's very
banger.
People haven't heard it. It's very cinematic. It's massive. It's fucking great.
Oh yeah,
beautiful, huge chorus.
Mm-hmm.
It's just got all the elements that make a heavy fucking Fear Factory song.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be part 2 of the the Disruptor video.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Disruptor put out a video. It has a concept behind it. I
Yeah.
think most people saw it.
Oh yeah.
That's
rad.
So yeah, it's going to be part 2 to that video.
That's
and
awesome.
That's going to be really cool. You're going to see what happens at the end.
That's cool. It's like a short film.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love that. Yeah.
Now things that I want people to realize what happened here. When Bert quit, he really quit. He gave up everything.
It's crazy.
He didn't have nothing to do with the way this record turned out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, his vocals are on it, but
of course.
we ended up Andy Sneap and Damien Reynaud ended up polishing his vocals and putting them on time and editing them, making them all perfect, and it sounds like a fucking $1 million. It's great.
It does.
Right?
Yes.
So we did all that, and like I said, drums, Andy Sneap makes it, Damien Reynaud, Reese Fulber. We had 4 other keyboard players on the record.
Damn.
Shout out to Max Caron. Shout out to Giuseppe Bassi, Igor Koreshkev. I can't say his name. All these guys contributed on this record, keyboard wise, and they were amazing. I think that's one of the things that made each song a little different from one another.
Yeah,
was that we had different keyboard players on different songs.
Yeah, and
sometimes 2 keyboard players on one song.
Damn.
So
very awesome.
It definitely adds an element. Now, so because I was able to get the name, because I was able to move forward, and because I was, because of the kids' GoFundMe campaign, is the reason why this record's coming out. Yeah. The reason why this record is turned out really, really good. Great, actually, to turn out great.
It turned out great, yeah. Did you always have, like, past Fear Factory records? Did you have other keyboardists? Was it always someone different, or how did you go about writing all those parts?
Every record that I've been on, it's always been Reese Fulber. Yeah. Now, when I was out of the band, I think they had different keyboard players in the band at the time.
Okay, understood. That's rad, though, man. It's cool. It's cool to see it finally coming out because I remember it being announced then, and then all the legal troubles, and then seeing the GoFundMe, and I was like, cool. And I saw the GoFundMe reach its goal, and I was like, damn, it's coming. Like the record is actually going to come out. And then when you guys announced it, I was just like, fuck yes, finally, this is it.
Yeah, we even I think we even made like about $1,500 extra on the GoFundMe campaign. We used that towards the first video, which is really cool.
Yeah, to fund that. Yep. That's right. Do you see the band playing shows in the future, or you're not sure at this moment?
Of course.
I mean, I don't know, man. That's the response I want, though. That's the response I want.
Book it? Aren't you going to book it?
Hey, Dino.
No, shout out to Mike Monterulo.
Mike at TKO? Yeah, hell yeah, man. TKO, Mike rules.
Mike Monterulo's
our
booking agent.
Let's go, Mike. Book those shows. We need some Fear Factory, man.
Yeah, he's been with us for a while now. I've known him for years, but he's been working with us for a while now, and I'm glad that he's been with us. We've been with TKO for a long time.
Yeah, my friend Jonathan
went through different. Yeah, we went through different agencies over the years, but we probably the longest has been TKO for sure.
TKO has been the longest. That's cool.
Yeah, years.
Yeah. That's cool to have that relationship that long.
Yeah, but of course we're going to be doing shows next year. The main thing now is to announce the vocalists.
Oh yeah.
And then because we already got things looking very, very good for next year.
Oh wow.
On tours.
Yeah.
On tours.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Oh, your camera turned off.
I think my next caller is calling, I think.
Oh, is it? Okay, well, dude, hey, you got to get going. It's fine.
I think we have an hour and a half, right? We had an hour and a half.
Yeah, what time is it right now?
It's been an hour and a half.
Well, Dino, dude, seriously, man, it means a lot to have you do this today with me. Big Fear Factory fan. Can't wait for the world to hear the record. And I can't wait to see you guys live, man, next year.
Thank you, man.
Let's get a drink together, man.
Hey, thanks for giving me the time to explain the story.
No, thank you for doing it.
Have a platform.
Yes.
The last thing I want to say is, thanks to all the people who helped this record come out.
Yeah.
Thanks to all the fans and all the record company and everybody else who contributed.
Yep.
Also,
big shout out.
If anybody wants to go and pre-order the album, obviously you could go to iTunes or anywhere where you buy records.
Yep.
You can go to fearfactory.com
Yep.
to buy cassettes, vinyl, CDs,
everything,
merchandise, and to see the upcoming tour dates.
Yes.
So,
everyone,
thank you very much.
fearfactory.com. Thank you,
Thank you
Dino.
for all the support for all these years, man. Thanks.
Definitely, man. Take it easy.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too, bro.
Bye.
Bye.